Hi, I'm Laura, Omniyogagirl, and the following series of drills and exercises were put together for an Instagram yoga challenge called 7 Pillars of Handstand. So if you're just getting started on your handstand journey, or you're looking to improve specific strength and try different techniques, and hopefully you'll find this helpful. Please don't forget to leave any suggestions in the comments, and also please click subscribe. Thank you very much. Okay, so for day one of the 7 pillars of handstanding, I'm going to be showing you the Senna 4 set of drills, which is a really great drill for specific handstanding strength. So we'll start off with the first of the 4 exercises. And you want to come and lie down, face down on the mat. We're going to be doing some shoulder extension reps, but while holding a hollow body handstand position. So feet together, really squeeze the thighs together, arms straight, and you want to flex the wrists up as much as you can. So obviously you can see I'm relaxed here, so then we want to really engage everything, create that hollow body shape. So pull your ribs in, press the pubic bone into the mat, squeeze down with the shoulders, squeeze the feet together, squeeze the inner thighs, and hold for 20 seconds. Okay, next up is a kneeling prayer pose position. So again, we're really going to knit those ribs in, and we're going to try and press the shoulders down, the armpits down into the mat, whilst keeping our elbows up. So try and stack the hips over the knees. I know mine come back a little bit. Hands together in prayer and kind of open them up like a book. So elbows up off the mat. As you can see right now, I'm kind of sinking down. So we want to pull that in, pull in the ribs, pull the belly button back towards the spine, look at the hands, pushing the armpits down towards the mat. And again, hold for 20 seconds. Okay, so the third exercise is split into 2 parts. These are kind of pike reps. So we'll start off and we're going to place the hands either side of the knees. Really pull in the tummy muscles, and we're just going to try and bring the hips up, straighten the legs so we're on the tops of our toes. So look down between your hands. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. We're doing 5 of these. Okay, so the next part of that exercise is to try a little hop and get those feet up off the mat. So hands just slightly in front of the knees. Try and keep the elbows over the wrists as much as you can. And again, inhale, come up, little hop. Again, 5 of those. Our last exercise of the Senna 4 set is a handstand plank. Hands shoulder width apart. And this time we're going to come onto the tops of our feet, feet together, squeeze the inner thighs just like we did in one of the previous exercises, and then push into the shoulders. Hollow out that lower belly. Again, holding it for 20 seconds. So welcome to day 2. Today we're working on endurance, and I'm going to be showing you some alignment with chest-to-wall handstands. So what we want to do for these sets is work sort of on a short time, but multiple sets. That would be a better way to build up endurance without losing kind of form or alignment and that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to get into it, how to get out of it, and give you some cues as well. Okay, so try not to have your hands too wide apart. Feet together, squeezing the thighs together, tucking the ribs in and pushing up. So maybe hold for 10, 15 seconds. Make sure you can keep your form. And then to come down, just kind of slide down the wall, bringing one foot down. And then rest for 15, 20 seconds and repeat 2 more times. Okay, today is endurance for handstands. So I'm going to show you some shoulder extension reps. We're going to walk in with chest to wall, or chest to mirror in my case, and we're going to try and do kind of like shoulder dips, kind of scapular extensions. So yeah, well, I'll talk you through it, and hopefully you'll find it a drill that's really useful for developing that shoulder strength and endurance. Okay, so we're set up with our chest to wall, pulling the ribs in, squeezing the feet together, and then dip down into the shoulders and then push up. So we're extending upwards, down, up as much as we can. Keep the core engaged and push up on the way up. Today we're focusing on alignment, and I'm going to show you a pike handstand against the wall. Now, at first I used to think this is one of the nicer exercises, but as I've learned to try and get the alignment right, it's definitely become one of the hardest. So I'll demo it as best as I can for you. So we're focusing on stacking weight, keeping the shoulders over the wrists, tucking the ribs in, and trying to keep the back flat so we're not arching it too much. It's something I really struggle with, but if you're doing it correctly, you should almost feel like your feet are going to float off of the wall. First, it's a good idea to set your distance. So obviously you want the legs straight, how you're going to be in your pike position, and just find out where your hands fall on the mat so they're next to your hips. And then getting into position, we don't want our legs to be too high or too low, preferably at a nice right angle. Feet together, relax the neck, and try and tuck those ribs in, keeping the shoulders stacked. So you can hold that for 10, then coming into a rest position, and repeat 2 more times. So today we're working on consistency and kicking up. Now, just a few months ago, I couldn't even kick up to the wall. I kept trying and trying, and I couldn't do it. So for anyone out there who is feeling the same way, I will try and give you some tips about what helped me, and hopefully it will work out for you too. So what we want to try and do when we're kicking up is to not arch the back too much. I know I've got a real tendency of jerking my head up, so we're going to try and keep the head relaxed as well and just spotting between the hands. So use your banders. I found that using Uddiyana bandha and really tucking that in helps kind of keep the ribs knitted in and stops the back from arching too much. So just kind of find your distance, and it's better to not kind of throw yourself into it. I think we want to think about just kind of placing the hands in and then letting our leading leg kind of take us up so we can find the wall. So you can start with your hands up here. I just feel like it's more controlled having my hands down here, but whatever works for you. And kind of so tucking that Uddiyana bandha in, try and knit in the ribs, tuck the chin down. And then just trying to stack those hips, maybe find a point of balance, working towards kicking up and reaching the wall. I thought it might be useful to try and give some more guidance on kicking up to the wall. As I said before, that is something that I struggled with for a long time. So some extra tips is, though it's really easy to be kind of scared and think you're going to fall over or something like that, don't be afraid to really go for it. And at least at first, don't be afraid to kick the what's it out of the wall and just overshoot. The wall is there to catch you, I promise. So again, we're going to set up, we're going to think about pushing into the hands as we kick up. We're going to try and keep the core engaged, and we're going to try and just focus on hips over shoulders. So come up on the exhale, straighten up once you're there, tuck the ribs in, push up, relax the neck, fill it between the hands. And come down, just gently bring one foot back down to the mat.
For the one leg variation, you can also use a spotter, a training buddy. I'm Laura's training buddy today. So I really want to focus on just her stacking her hips over her shoulders. She really wants to avoid arching the back or letting the leg lead its way over. We're thinking hips first and then the leg. Laura's very controlled in this, so I don't need to do really that much, but you might have someone who is going to fling themselves with their hips over their shoulders, and if that's the case, then you want to be ready to catch them. Hips up and then down. A little bit more hips. Hips up, whoosh, yeah, good, nice.
Okay, so if a tuck handstand is a goal for you, like it totally is for me, then this exercise for day 5 is really good. It's another tough one, but just give it your best shot. So they're called knee coast tucks. So we're going to come up to the wall. You don't want your hands as close to the wall as you would in chest to wall or the shoulder extension reps, but just a little bit further apart because we're going to be sliding the legs down the wall into a tuck position. Okay, so try to stop your back from arching too much. Try and keep those ribs tucked in and try and keep your shoulders over your wrists. They're really going to want to come forward when you push up, but that's what we're focusing on, is to try and keep them in one place, keeping them over the wrists. And come down as far as you can with the knees. Obviously, ideally, I can't do it, but we're looking to try and tuck them in as much as possible and then push all the way back up. So good luck. Okay, so it's day 6 and we're working on mobility and flexibility. So I'm going to show you a couple of exercises that I think are really useful, especially if you're kind of tight in the hip flexors and everything. It really helps towards working towards those press drills and getting that press flexibility. So first off, we're going to move into a Skandasana variation. So my ankle flexibility really restricts me usually from coming down, but we're going to thread the arm behind the leg and just use it to support us and sink our hips down for a count of 5. And then switching over to the other side. Again, just supporting yourself, really trying to sink down. Okay, so next up is a dynamic pancake fold stretch. So you might want to grab yourself a block. Oh, there, you can try it without. So legs just comfortably apart. And the thing is, you've really got to try and reach the block, reach it as much as you can. So take hold of your block, just come forward so you're comfortable. And then just for a count of 10, we're going to pulse forward, but do everything you can to get that block as far away from you as possible. So reaching forward, straightening the arms, and then pulse. And then hold, stop, and hold for a count of 10. And repeat 2 more times. It's our last day and our last pillar, so it's time to put it all together and try and find some balance. So if you're a beginner like me, I think it's really important to manage your expectations. This is a tricky skill to learn. That's kind of why so many people want to be able to do it. So a 3-second hold or 4-second hold is amazing. A 2-second hold is amazing. Basically, any airtime, I think you should consider a win. So in the next video, Gabby's going to be explaining the exercise, which is quite technical, while I'm attempting to demo it. Gabby's also going to be showing you how she does it and doing it much more successfully than me. And I'm going to try and give you some more pointers as well.
Relax. All right, so Laura doesn't want to keep the bum close to the wall. She wants to keep the bum away from the wall. It doesn't matter if she's got a tiny little arch, but her objective is to get her feet off the wall, but without using her feet. I know that sounds crazy, but she really wants to focus on the upper body. So the first point, she wants to really think about grabbing the floor towards her with her fingers. The second part, she really wants to think about pushing up in the shoulders with a little bit of external rotation. and then also pulling the ribs in. Nice. Okay, cool. So we don't want to go too close to the wall, we don't want to go too far away. And you also don't want your bum to relax against the wall. Keep the bum away. Doesn't matter if you're in a tiny arch. So what I'm really focusing on, or what my objective is, to get my feet off the wall, but without using my feet, which sounds a bit crazy. But I want to use 3 points, which are my fingers, my shoulders, and my ribs. All right, so I'm pushing up, pushing the floor away from me. And then I'm really putting the floor towards me with the fingers. I'm pushing up in the shoulders with a little bit of external rotation, and then ribs in, and then ideally all of those things should allow my body to get off the wall.
So we've kicked up to the wall just like before, and we're going to push up. So we're going to try and get the feet off the wall, like Gabby said, without using the feet. So focus on the upper body, tuck the ribs in, push up, grip the mat, weight on the fingertips. And that was a pretty successful hold for me. So, as I said before, considering that a win. This is a difficult skill to learn, I think. I'm sure lots of you would agree. So be patient with yourself, celebrate the small victories, and just keep practicing one day at a time.